action. So we have some COVID updates in the NFL today. The Titans, Raiders, and the Patriots have some new positive cases. Titans just added on to their mounting number of cases, positive cases.
They're up to 22 now in terms of players and organization. Stephon Gilmore tested positive for the Patriots.
Yep.
I believe it was Maurice Hurst for the Raiders. This is exactly what we expected. The problem with just going ahead with the season as is that you can't control that many people.
Right.
And you can't control their actions.
Right. And it's hard to tell, right, where they contracted it, if they did anything wrong on their ends. I mean, you really don't know. And
no, we know. The Raiders all went to a charity event for Darren Waller's foundation and weren't wearing masks.
Right.
The Titans weren't wearing masks in their facility. And even after they started getting positive tests, they were scheduling workouts with players, outside of the facility. So they were gathering and working out together there.
Well, what about the Patriots?
I don't know about the Patriots or the Chiefs. The Chiefs had one player test positive prior to their game.
Yeah.
No idea where they got it. But
so yes, in some cases, they're going to be people that are just irresponsible. I mean, we knew that was going to happen, right? But even if everybody was doing exactly what they needed to do, the fact is, they can go anywhere. If they're traveling and they're going through the airport, or they get on the plane, or they get to the hotel, they can contract it anywhere. And that's the problem with having a season right now when there's a pandemic going on. Now, me and B actually talked about this in 2 of our previous podcasts. You can go and check that out. Lunch Break, Hot Take, wherever you listen to podcasts. But we said around this time, they were going to start to have issues. And we predicted around weeks 5 or 6, they would have to shut down, at least temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And, people are going at the Titans players online for gathering and working out. And yeah, I mean, it was the wrong thing to do. They shouldn't have done it. But I don't know what anybody expected from a league like the NFL.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if the team themselves was, not outright telling players, but kind of hinting,
encouraging,
you gotta get your work in and all this stuff.
Of course they were. That's the culture in the NFL. That's the culture in football.
The players know that if they didn't get the work in and they came back, out of shape or less sharp, they lose their job. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the players are going to do what they feel like they have to do.
Right.
This is a league-wide problem. It's not an individual team problem.
No, absolutely. I mean, that is not just football, but that's sports culture, right? Especially if you're playing at a high level, there's that expectation that no matter what's going on, you need to do what you need to do to be ready to perform when the lights come on. So no, it's not a surprise that they're out there doing that. In fact, even though we might be questioning them for in the media or in the public, I'm sure those coaches were like, yeah, you're doing what you need to do to prepare for the game.
Yeah, I'm hearing that the other coaches around the league are pretty upset about it, which is understandable because now it's affecting their schedules. Pittsburgh had to move their bye week from week 8, which is a very desirable bye week. It's right in the middle of the season.
Yeah,
all the way up to week 4, which why would you want that?
Yeah,
Ben Roethlisberger came out and was publicly complaining about it because he felt like he was just getting into the swing of things, and then they kind of derailed his momentum.
Well, he could have started getting to the swing of things by staying in shape a lot earlier than he did. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. But no, it's a good point. When you have it mapped out on your schedule, your bye weeks, you're planning for rest time or vacation time, or that's a good stopping point for us to kind of take a look at where we're at in the season and what we need to do to fix things, get back on track, or to keep things going. All that's planned out. And when you have things like this come up and now we're losing that bye week, yeah, it's a setback. No, basically, yeah, if you had to do it for one game, that's fine. But If you're doing it, if you have to reschedule for multiple games, that's where you run into problems. And that's when you have to start talking about, and they've already have started talking about putting a pause on the season.
Right. And I'm not even really sure it's fine for one game. I mean, they got lucky
Yeah.
with the one game they had to reschedule because they moved the Ravens and Steelers to a week later, and it was just kind of convenient that they had those bye weeks right there. I'm not sure what you do for a second week. At this point, I don't know why you're even entertaining the idea of Tennessee playing Buffalo this weekend. I mean,
Right.
they're still testing positive. They haven't had the 2 days consecutive of all negative tests to open up their facilities yet. And beyond that, you just went to Tennessee and investigated what was going on and found out they've been breaking protocol all over the place. So why would you even be entertaining the idea of them playing this weekend?
Why would you be entertaining the idea of the Patriots playing this weekend? Why would you be entertaining the idea of the Raiders playing this weekend? Listen, listen, this virus is real. You can't talk your way out of it, right? You're not going to go from positive test one day to negative in 2 or 3 days. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
I mean, look, you're absolutely right. The Raiders shouldn't have been playing. They shouldn't be thinking about playing this week. Patriots were playing the Chiefs, so we had to jam that one through, right?
Yeah.
That's why that one went on.
Yeah.
It sucked that it was Cam, but the league was not about to lose out on New England, Kansas City in prime time.
Right. And now you find out it's Stephon Gilmore. Tomorrow we're going to find out it's more Patriots, and then we're going to find out there's more Chiefs players. I mean, that's just the reality. Expect it. Expect that. It's coming. We're going into week 5. There's going to be more positive cases, and I honestly think this might be the last full week of football for at least a few weeks. I think they are going to put a hold on it for a couple of weeks.
Well, even if you don't get positive tests in the next couple of days for the Chiefs, right? I mean, we've all seen the clip of Stephon Gilmore talking to Pat Mahomes right after the game. So obviously you were exposed to someone who has it, right? What do you do when you're exposed to somebody who has COVID-19? You quarantine for a couple weeks, right? Or if you happen to be filthy rich and play a game for a living, I guess you just go back to work.
Yeah. I can already see it. They're gonna spin it as, oh yeah, no, we tested him. He came back negative and he's good to go. Right. And then after Sunday, maybe they'll say, oh, well, yeah, well, it turns out he tested positive. This is how the virus spreads, right?
Yeah.
When you want to lie to yourself about what's going on, when you want to act like everything's fine, and you go out there and you be reckless and you spread it to other people, this is only going to get worse.
Well, let's be honest. They're not lying to themselves. They know exactly what's going on. They're just making the decision that them playing their games and making their money is more important than the health of anybody involved with it.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens in this couple of weeks. But me and B predicted this back in August. Between weeks 5 and 6 is where you're going to start the season start to crumble. And right now, that's what's happening.